and welcome to this on video. Today I am going to explain about organizations and its features. Learning outcome. At the end of this session, students will be able to identify different types and features of organizations, and students will be able to identify and describes important features of organizations that managers need to know about its order to build and use information systems successfully in those business. Agenda. In this video I am going to cover what is organization and what are its features and how information systems impact organizations and business firms. First, organizations and information system. Information systems and organizations influence one another in another complex relationship influenced by organizations. So in the organizations in general, we have to know about, before going to start any type of the organizations, we have to know what are the relationship, what are the different components are required. So in this one we have to know about, first before going to start the organizations, we have to know about what is the structure of the organizations, what process we have to use for the business, and what are the different political points we required, and what are the different types of culture we have to adopt in the business, and what type of environment we have to adopt, so management decisions we have to take. So these are the different points we have to consider in the business process. So next, what is the relationship between organizations and information technology? Just now we have discussed, we have to know what are the different components are required. So here this diagram indicates the relations are two-way relationship between organizations and information technology. So what is the organizations or how it will be related to the information technology? So in the diagram, first this is the organizations, what are the rules and what are the components are required and what type of environment we have to use, everything. It is directly linked to the information technology. In between we have to use some mediating factors. That factors are what environment or what type of environment we have to adopt in the business, and what are the culture of the business we have to, or organizations we have to, and structure, business process, politics and management decisions we have to use. So this block diagram indicates the relationship between organization and information system. So here this organizations is linked to the information system by considering mediating factors. So first, what exactly the organizations we have to know. Okay, so in this one the determines what is organizations. It means technical definition as well as behavioral definitions we have to use. In the technically what we have to use in the organizations, and based on the behavior what we have to use in the business we have to know. For that, first we have to know about what are the technical definition of organizations. So in the technical definition of organizations, we have to consider stable, formal, social structure that takes resources from environment and process to produce outputs. So in generally we want start the business. It means so different factors or components we have to consider. By considering that, we have to work on that, then at the end we have to produce the proper output. So that should be fulfill or useful to the environment or outside world. So here for that we have to consider stable, formal, social structure that takes resources from the environment and produce to output. Right? It can produce the output to the society. Okay, a formal legal entity with internal rules and procedures as well as social structures also we have to consider for this one. So this is related to the technically we have to think before going to start or before going to know about the organizations. So how we have to go for the behavioral definition. It means based on the behavior of that particular organizations we have to consider various points that are, first we need to collect the rights, the collection of rights and privileges, obligations and responsibilities that is delicately balanced over period of time through conflict and conflict resolution. So in generally, so based on the behavior of the organizations, we have to define how it will be related to the technology or information system we have to use in the organizations. So in general, this is a behavioral view of organizations. Just now we have discussed about the technical definition as well as behavioral definition. So in the behavioral definitions, we have to know about based on the behavior of that particular company, so how it will be. So here we have to use the environment resources. So environment resources, it means what are the different types and what are the different factors we have to consider in the environment resources, that we have to give as a formal organizations, and at the end it will be get generates environmental outputs. So in between we have to use or we have to know about organizations that are structure as well as procedure. So in the structure we have to consider about the hierarchy, division of labor, rules, procedures and business process as well as culture we have to know in the structure field of the business. Okay, at the process, in the field of process we have to know about what are rights as well as obligations we have to use, privileges and responsibilities we have to use, and values, norms and people. So these are the things we have to consider in the view of behavioral view of organizations. So this is a behavioral view of organizations we have to. So these are different features of organizations it is there. So we have to considering the organizations. First we have to know over the organizations, then behavioral approaches as well as technical approaches also we have to know. After that some features are also there. So detailed description about each and every features will be there in the next part, but here we have to know how it will be related and what are the different features we have to use. So the all modern organizations share some characteristics. So these are some characteristics we are using. So such as first one is use of hierarchical structure. It means so the business it is not possible, or sometimes it is possible if they have started new. So sometimes if the hierarchy is there in the business, so it can be hold very soon without making more effort and all those things. The use of hierarchical structure also we have to use, and accountability, that also we have to think. Authority in the system of impartial decision making, that also we have to consider in this one. That is adherence to the principle of efficiency. So these are some characteristics are there. Routines and business process. In the routines as well as business process we have to use some routines like standard operating procedures, how we have to operate, and then to whom we have to give some authority, and then what are the different roles we have to assign to the various employees, that also we have to think in the routines as well as business process. Precise rules, procedures and practice developed to cope with virtual all expected situations. So in this one we have to consider business process, collection of routines, business forms, collection of business processes. So routines as well as business process, in this one we have to go for the organization's politics. Divergent viewpoints lead to political struggle, competition and conflict. So political resistance greatly hampers organization changes. Organization's culture, it means here we have to think about encompasses set of assumptions that define goal and product, what products the organization should produce, how and where should be produced, for whom the product should be produced. It means these are the different points we have to use in the organization structure. So organization's environment also we have to know, that is in this one the organizations as well as environment have reciprocal relationship, that is organizations are open to and dependent on social and physical environment. Organizations can influence their environment generally changes faster than organizations. So now it is a time to think about one question, that is a think and write point. Give some real time example on features of organizations. So now pause the video and answer this question. Now solution for this question, features of organizations with real time example. Here we are considering Infosys as an example. In this example, so we have to consider various features like hierarchy, a structure we have to know, division of work, common goals or objective of that work, then coordination in the team, rules and regulations, and formal communication between the sequence or orders, sustainability and growth of that particular work, innovation and adaptability. So these are the different real time example of business features in the organizations. This is the features of organizations. It is just diagrammatic representation of organizations environment. So here the organizations and its environment is there. Here the firm is there. How it will be directly linked to the information system. Here environmental resources and constraints are there. So here it may be the government and competitors, customers, financial institution, culture. These things directly or knowledge technology will related to the firm. So this is just the organization's environment, how it can looks like. Okay. So this is the reference I have used to prepare the above PPT. Thank you.